This is Fox News Talk.
Welcome back to Fox News Talk, everyone. I am your host, Ben Kissel. You can find me on Twitter at Ben Kissel. Also, call in 877-367-2526, 877-367-2526. Speaking of Twitter, Katherine Timpf.
Hi.
You just tweeted at me during the 6 o'clock hour that I'm here. You were wondering if I was here. I am here.
Hey.
And now you're here.
I sure am.
It's so great to have Kat.
Looking for Monday night plans.
Well, you found them.
Yes.
You can watch Kat, of course, every Saturday at 10 p.m. on the Greg Gutfeld Show and read everything she writes for the National Review. So you wrote today an article about this situation where United employees, they banned 2 girls who were wearing leggings.
3
girls wearing leggings.
Well, yeah.
And so what happened? Because I guess, judging from the title of your article, United employees had every right to bar the leggings-wearing girls from flying. I take it that you're pro-United on this one, because that's interesting, because I say all nude. Flights, you should be able to fly all nude, in my opinion.
Oh, well, I wear leggings almost every flight, and I look very bad almost every flight. I wore 2 different flip-flops after one particular late night turning into an early morning flight situation. Yeah,
it's amazing. I was just flying in. We fly about every weekend now. People dress down when they fly now.
I dress very bad. I look like an absolute garbage person.
Back in the day, people used to dress up to fly when it was, I guess, more of a luxury, perhaps.
Right.
Huh?
Well, that's the thing. So there was 3 girls. One of them had to put a dress over her leggings. The other 2 weren't allowed to fly. But they were not just passengers. They were past travelers. Okay. Which means if you are an employee or you're the dependent of an employee, you can fly for free, but you have to comply to a dress code.
I see.
Like no beachy flip-flops, no stretchy pants.
Yeah, so you can't dress like John Candy in Summer Rental.
Absolutely.
Wow, nice. I got a John Candy reference in. My tradition continues.
But those are the rules. So if the rules say, hey, you have to wear a ball gown, then you got to wear a ball gown.
So they were flying for free. These weren't paying customers.
Right.
I did not realize that.
Exactly, because everybody just went cuckoo bananas over it, saying, this is sexualizing young girls, and this is sexist. People are like, well, I'm going to wear leggings. I'm going to boycott. He's like, no, you can wear leggings on United. I recently did, actually.
Oh, okay.
You totally can.
Well, yeah, there was a woman at on the flight. I was flying with Brooke Rogers, and she just had her naked legs up on the back of our seat. I tweeted out the picture. It was quite disturbing, quite disgusting. They let her fly. So I was wondering why these people were kicked off the flight.
Right.
So now, does this play into a larger hysteria regarding women and clothing and what's appropriate, what's gender? Is it gender-specific clothing that's only allowed? Things like that. Is it playing into a larger argument?
Yeah, I suppose, but it seems like they'd probably most certainly turn away a leggings-wearing man as well if he were a past traveler. I can't say for sure. But
he might have been one of the merry men working with Peter Pan or something, or with Robin Hood, rather.
So many people are arguing that it's ridiculous, because the argument behind the past traveler dress code is that these people are technically representing United, so they should look good, like look nice.
I see.
But then again, nobody really knows. A lot of people are arguing nobody knows who the past travelers are except for the airline. So who cares? But it doesn't matter. People are arguing over whether this is ridiculous or not. But and I said this in my piece, and I thought about, so you go to a restaurant, it's very expensive, and you order some very expensive steaks, and then when the waiter comes to you with the bill, you can't argue with him about how ridiculous the price was. It might be ridiculous, but you agreed to pay for it, just like if you agree to be a past traveler, you agree to adhere to the dress code.
I did not realize that. 877-367-2526, 877-367-2526. Was United correct in denying entry onto their really controversially sized airplanes? I can't even. I'm 6'7". I mean, it is a waking nightmare. My knees are. They feel like Shaquille O'Neal's after an NBA championship game or something, following a flight on United. They're all banged up, and everyone in the front row has the absolute need to recline. Every time someone's in front of me, and they get upset with me for having knees being a hindrance to their mildly comfortable flight.
But you're a giant man.
I am a giant man, and you know what I don't do? I don't complain. I understand that I'm a huge person, and planes were never meant for me.
Have you ever had be sitting on a plane and somebody walks up and they see that they're sitting next to you and they go, oh.
Well, this is a situation I had flying Southwest Airlines, who they claim it as a benefit that they don't hand out seat tickets. They don't seat assignments. So instead, it's just Lord of the Flies. So you have to go in, you have to barter, you have to physically fight individuals to get a proper seat that might suit your size or whatever it might be, or comfort level. So basically every single flight when I flew Southwest, because I'm a pacifist, you know that. I mean, I have my gin, and I just want to be left alone with my little gins and my beers. And sitting in the middle seat of a Southwest flight, when the person on the aisle and the person in the window, when they see me coming, the terror in their eyes. I mean, it is the folks that were with David as they saw Goliath walking to them to fight. The horror that is in their eyes. And it just makes me feel bad because, like Lady Gaga says, I was born this way.
You should write a think piece about that.
You know what? I
rally the Twitter troops.
I should. I really should. So that always makes me extremely uncomfortable to sit in the middle seat because I don't like to make people upset, but my shoulders are just larger than the 3 seats combined, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Absolutely true.
Of course, when I was morbidly obese,
that was going to be my next question about how about when you were morbidly obese?
Right. I used to be 380 pounds. I've lost 160 pounds. I've gained back 40 pounds, so we say I still lost 120 pounds.
All right.
And the gaining back of the 40 is always a good time. That is a little bit more on me. Because you have to take personal responsibility. And when you do see someone morbidly obese, it is like, well, you could have just come on Nordic track it for 3 months before you get on this flight so you can squeeze into the seat just a little bit easier.
Lindy West, I believe, wrote a piece about how people are fat phobic on airplanes and it's unfair treatment. I mean, she said things about it. A lot of people have written about that.
Well, we discussed this actually a couple of shows ago. Now over 50% of the country for the first time believes it's okay to be fat. And it's not something that should be shamed. Of course, you mentioned Lindy West. She's blocked me on Twitter. I've never once even come close to tweeting at her. I was pre-blocked.
Me too. I was pre-blocked
don't know why. I'm not even. Maybe she thinks I'm like some conservative. I don't know why. I think it's because she probably projected everything that she hates about white men on me.
Correct.
And me being the largest white man got me a guaranteed block. But there is something very strange and dangerous about us just being like, it doesn't matter about your health. It's okay to be fat. It's not. It's extremely unhealthy, and your life is worse. I mean, I know I lost weight because I tried to tie my shoe. I was around 20 years old or 21, and I could barely tie my shoe. I was going to have to use Velcro, like I was a Burger King employee, or because Velcro is they oftentimes sell good no slip Velcro shoes. Or an elderly person, it's like, what is happening to my life? And losing weight was the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Right. Well, so there was a study. Doctors in the UK, they've gotten the patients offended by telling them that they're overweight, that they might have health problems, etc., recommending a diet.
They were offended by the doctor.
Yeah, and then a lot of doctors don't even share that information with their patients anymore. But it's hard to hear, but you know what's harder is dying.
Yes.
Dying is harder.
Solely because you could not go without French fries or a burger. Trust me, it's not that difficult. When I lost my weight, this is small tricks, park far away. At your Walmart parking lot, because it's tough to get exercise, especially in small towns. We live in a society.
Park far away in Walmart.
Park far away. So you got to walk a little bit more. That adds up. You know what? Beer. Go down to a light beer, or vodka sodas are amazing.
Yeah.
Because we need our booze. I mean, I'm not telling you to cut out all the booze. And then, cut out a little bit of the cheese, limit the portion size a little bit.
You told me instead of the normal 2 burritos, get 1.
Just get 1. And it could be a big burrito. That's fine. But there are easy ways to lose weight. And especially when you are as morbidly obese as I was, the first 40, 50 pounds, it goes off in like a month.
Yeah.
And you will just immediately start to feel better. And you can do it again, drunk off your you-know-what on vodka sodas. So don't even worry about it. You can still have a good time. It doesn't have to be miserable to lose weight. And that is so sad to me that people can't even go and get real medical advice from their doctors because they're too sensitive about their weight issue. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me.
I know.
And I mean, it's the first time in American history that more people are dying because of obesity than starvation, which is, I guess, a good thing.
No, I feel like it's bad.
Don't know.
Because, we can't talk about it, can't share it. I saw something, I wrote about this too, the good old Everyday Feminism, that great blog, said it was, it's oppressive to quote scientific statistics when talking about being overweight and health problems. Because all those statistics really come from is people hating overweight people.
Right.
Which is just,
interesting.
What?
No.
You can't create your own reality. You can try to live in it, but the health problems are going to come for you either way.
Absolutely. All right. This is Fox News Talk. I'm in with Kat Timpf. We're going to do this the whole hour. So call in 877-367-2526. It's an open call. You can ask us anything you want to ask us. If you lost a lot of weight, let's hear your story. If you are overweight and you want advice, or you want to explain some of the issues that you go through, because I know for a fact it is really difficult, and people say a lot of mean-spirited and hateful things, and that's also not appropriate. But getting medical advice from your doctor is not him teasing you.
Otherwise, it's malpractice.
Or her teasing you.
It's malpractice to ignore it.
Exactly. So call in 877-367-2526. This is Fox News Talk. I'm here with Kat Timpf all hour. I'm Ben Kissel. Welcome back to Fox News Talk, everyone. I'm your host, Ben Kissel. You can find me on Twitter at Ben Kissel and call in 877-367-2526, 877-367-2526. I'm in studio with National Review writer and star of the Greg Gutfeld show. Other than Greg Gutfeld, I suppose.
Pretty sure the name of the show is the star.
Greg Gutfeld show, of course, it airs 10 p.m. on Saturdays on the Fox News channel. Kat Timpf is with us. Thank you so much for joining me, Kat.
All my pleasure.
All right, so obviously you and I both have large libertarian veins running through our body, but we're also very pragmatic, and which is interesting because Rand Paul and Ted Cruz, they allowed the U.S. Senate to it voted to eliminate broadband privacy rules that would have required internet service providers to get consumers explicit consent before selling or sharing web browsing data and other private information with advertisers and other companies. These rules were approved in October 2016 by the FCC, then Democratic leadership, but are opposed by the FCC's new Republican majority and Republicans in Congress. So this is a situation where I think the Democrats are correct. I hate the idea of Comcast, AT&T, Verizon, these private corporations having a huge amount of power in disseminating the information that we hand over for free. I mean, how do you think the Libertarian Party squares this? Because again, Rand Paul, the stalwart of the Libertarian Party currently in the Senate, although sometimes he does things that I don't necessarily agree with, such as this. How do they side how do they err on the side of allowing these corporations to spread our information without our consent?
Well, I can't see into Rand Paul's mind. I've tried. Every night before I go to bed, I try to connect. I light candles. No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
Right.
I think maybe it's because it's information that we give up willingly.
But is it willingly? I mean, in this day and age,
but
we
exactly,
have to use
how do you live?
Right.
All right. I don't use Google Maps. I'm not getting home.
Exactly.
I will never figure out how to make, say, oh, you don't have no cell phone. Just stay home and sit around and wait for someone to call you on the rotary and see if you want some drinks. That's not how it works anymore.
Right. I agree. There's no constitutional right to a smartphone, sure, but let's live in the real world, and you have to have it. You
do. Even my grandma and Papa Timpf have one. They share one because, they're not always together, that grandma and Papa Timpf, which is very sweet. But people don't seem to care about privacy anymore because they just expect that people are spying on them. They expect that people are taking their information, and I think that's one of the biggest problems.
I agree. So shouldn't we have people in government who are trying to be a little bit better than this expectation of no privacy? We still have a constitutional right to privacy, and the fact that they would allow these corporations to sell everything that we do to advertisers, for me, it just sends a chill down my spine, and I don't fully understand how this is libertarian whatsoever.
Right. I mean, it's not government surveillance, I guess, so technically I can understand it, but I don't see how it's good.
What stops the government from getting the information from Verizon, from AT&T?
Nothing.
Right, so it is government surveillance.
Nothing.
Right, now that we live in more of a, I guess, a technocracy or a corporate governance. Of course, now with Donald Trump sort of bragging about bringing a corporate methodology to government, Jared Kushner just said he's going to treat America like a corporation, and we, I suppose, are the customers of this new, corporation/government. What's to stop them from simply getting all of this information? And I am really, quite frankly, upset with the libertarian and the conservative wing of the party that is our last hope. Other than the Dennis Kuciniches of the world who are gone, they're our last hope for privacy.
I agree. Privacy and then, more reasonable foreign policy. A lot of people, they're libertarian-ish. I don't know if there are any true libertarians in Congress, except for maybe Justin Amash is probably my fave, Grand Rapids representative.
Ooh, all right.
But
Let me hear your thoughts. 877-367-2526, 877-367-2526. Do you agree with the Republicans eliminating broadband privacy rules that just allow corporations to share our information, make money off of it as well? I mean, that's the other thing that kind of angers me. If you're going to make some bank off of my Google searches, give me a kickback.
Absolutely. You should have the opportunity.
I want 5 to 10%. And I mean, it plays into this whole larger issue that we're having right now with the internet and with how it's being monetized. I was talking about it regarding fake news and the monetized lies that are happening on all of these websites on the left and the right that are disseminating fake information simply because it gets the clicks. The advertisers see the clicks and they put their advertisement for jeans or Gatorade or whatever the heck they're trying to sell, and with no concern for the content of the site that they're advertising.
Right.
On.
And you know what? First of all, let me say, I don't need help buying too much stuff.
No, I get T-shirts every single day now because I've been getting drunk and searching on Etsy. So every day I'm like, where's my little prize?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm buying
Amazon.com. I bought a kitty. It was shaped like a DJ thing, scratching table, but it's like a kitty scratcher thing.
Oh, you needed that.
I needed that.
Of course you did.
And it was like made of garb. Like, and I ordered it. I ordered that. I ordered a lion costume for my cat's head because he's in this March Meowdness competition. He's gonna lose bad tomorrow.
He's in a March Meowdness competition. Jeans.
Yeah, it's like for Cats versus Cancer. So it's for the website. It's Tom O'Connor's website.
Okay, Tom, of course, the producer for the Great Gutfeld show. Great guy.
So the more clicks they get in their videos, the more money for cancer research. Blah, like that's but March Meowdness puts cats up against other cats.
Wow.
And the Cheens is in the Elite 8 tomorrow, but his opponent is a cat that has 1.5 million Facebook followers.
Oh my goodness.
Cheens is gonna. The fact that he's made it this far is very bad.
Oh, this is Rocky Balboa going against Apollo Creed.
I'm actually in a bad mood, and I'm trying to think about why. And when I think about it, I'm honest with myself. It's because I know Cheens is gonna bomb March Meowdness.
Oh,
and that's sad. So that makes it even worse. That's what I'm sad about. It's a spiral. You know what I'm saying?
I think Cheens has a big time shot. I mean, if he can go the distance. With this cat with 1.5 million followers, that'll be a win in itself. I mean, we learned a lot from Rocky.
Yeah.
877-367-2526. Do you think it's right for the Republicans to repeal this privacy rule? I mean, there's no more privacy whatsoever. At the very least, the Democrats attempted to give us a little bit of privacy in our lives. We got some calls lighting up here, so we'll make sure to get to those after the break. This is Fox News Talk. I'm in studio with Kat Timpf. I'm Ben Kissel, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Fox News Talk, everyone. I am your host, Ben Kissel. I'm in studio with, she is not the star, but I'm going to say, you know what? I want to say the star of the Greg Gutfeld Show. You can watch that every Saturday at 10 p.m. on the Fox News channel. Also, she's a writer for National Review. You know her. You love her. She's Kat Timpf.
Hey.
Thanks for being here, Kat.
Of course.
So we were talking over the break. We left discussing Cheens, your cat, and we're going to get to this. We're going to get to the privacy rules here once again in a moment. The Senate voted 50-48 solely along party lines to repeal a law or regulation that banned private companies from sharing independent service providers or internet service providers from sharing your information to advertisers and making money off of your searches and things like that. We're going to get right back to that, but Cheens, there's something you want to talk about, cats versus cancer. People can find this online, and they vote solely online.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do we go and support your unbelievable cat?
Okay, cats versus cancer. I will post the direct link at midnight tonight on my Twitter, at Kat Timpf. But cats versus cancer, it's called March Meowdness. My cat, Cheens, is an undercat up against a very, very famous cat with 1.5 million Facebook followers named Cole. And Cheens is going to be very upset when it's a bloodbath, and I'll be very upset. So if you have any famous friends or family, any influential friends or family, if you're not doing anything and you want to sit home and vote over and over again all day, not that, this isn't a that's totally allowed. So just
voter
vote
fraud
for
is allowed.
Cheens. Do what it takes. I will go to the ends of the earth for Cheens, so you can at least click a button.
Right.
But it's for cancer research, too.
It's for cats.
Good cause.
Let's cheat to win, like Eddie Guerrero, the famous pro wrestler, rest in peace, once said. Cheat to win. We got to support Sheens. Vote as many times as you possibly can.
Yes.
And then Cole will be like, there was 3 million votes illegally.
I'm going to need at least 50,000 votes for Sheens to have a chance. Last round, he got about 6,000. So,
all right. Well,
eat,
Sheens,
pray, love.
The underdog of March Meowdness. Best of luck, Sheens. Senator John Cornyn, he's a Republican out of Texas. He was for repealing this regulation on internet service providers being able to share our information, argued that the privacy rules hurt job creators and stifled economic growth, which is total nonsense. Cornyn also said the FCC's privacy rulemaking involves the government picking winners and losers and was among the harmful rules and regulations put forward by the Obama administration at the last moment. Well, our Fourth Amendment right, in my opinion, is an important one, and it should be protected regardless who's in office. All right, let's go to the phones. We got Stuart in Alberta. Stuart, what's up, dude? Thanks for calling in.
Well, thanks for taking my call, Ben. This story, it's got me perplexed.
Okay.
In fact, I find it shocking. Because
well, now,
I'm a fan of Rand Paul.
Right.
And what you're telling me just makes me say, oh, what's this guy all about?
Yep.
Like it really is like I can't wrap my brain around it.
Well, that's it, Stuart. I mean, now where do libertarian-leaning individuals, where do they turn when one of the more prominent libertarians in the Senate, probably the most powerful libertarian in the Senate, is supporting these kinds of bills? Where do you turn? Who's for us?
I am a big fan of Rand Paul. Can't say I'm not. I want to hear him comment on this. And if he has a lackluster rebuttal to and an excuse for this, which is inexcusable, well, I'll just throw him in the garbage and never look back.
Ooh, tough guy.
In the garbage and never look back.
Well, do you have an actual effigy of Rand Paul that you could physically throw in the garbage, or maybe something you could burn?
No, I mean, obviously, metaphorically, I will never trust him ever again. If he's going to somehow justify the bulk collection from private corporations, which is exactly the same as the government spying on you. In fact, it's much worse because the government you can hold accountable at the end of the day. These private corporations you can't. And in fact, we're trying to hold, I mean, I'm a Canadian, but in general, you're trying to hold your government accountable for what they're doing right now with their mass bulk collection. And now it looks like Rand Paul's all for it. It really is disgusting. Well, but he's going to have to do some explaining, some real explaining. But his reputation is hinging on how he's going to explain how he would vote in favor of tyranny.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he knows that we can see that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you do get the feeling he's like, oh, this was public information? Dang it. Well, thank you so much for your point of view, Stuart. Really appreciate you. All right. Yeah, this is sort of a, we're kind of the Ricky to his Lucille Ball at this point. Like, you got some splaining to do. I don't understand how he could vote for this or how he could wrap his mind around this being a libertarian point of view. It does make us, again, feel like we have nobody fighting for our rights, especially our Fourth Amendment right to privacy whatsoever. And that's why the American people are so disillusioned with Washington. And that's why we're looking at Donald Trump in the White House right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. People are like, anything but what we've been having. The Apprentice guy, well, that'd be different.
That's
vote for him. A lot of people didn't, when you ask them, why they vote for Trump, and I'm not saying everybody, this applies to everybody, but a lot of people were just like, because I'm fed up with everybody else.
Absolutely. And he was fed up with everybody else as well. I mean, that's why when he's on stage with the 19 candidates at one point during the Democratic or Republican primary, and he was just yelling, looking at the crowd and be like, the only reason they boo me is because they're all paid by these guys on stage with me. These were moments that I was just like, awesome. When he continually railed against the Bush family for their unbelievably atrocious foreign policy. I was like, awesome.
Yeah, I agree with all that.
I agreed with a lot of what he said about the Republicans, during that Republican primary, and you get the feeling that really gave him the momentum to then inevitably win the whole thing.
And then the PC police thing, really, that can't be understated too. And then also just paying attention to people in areas of the country. Major political parties really concerned with, New York, LA, Hollywood, especially on the left, but really, nobody's ever paid specific attention to the so-called flyover states.
Right.
And, the fact that they're called that is issue number one.
Absolutely.
Just quite like Trump did.
Absolutely. And I mean, that was the whole thing it was interesting with Hillary and her campaign. They were running as if we did elect presidents via popular vote.
Yeah.
And if we did, they ran a heck of a campaign. But I think they knew that we had this little thing called Electoral College, and they seemed to sort of forget that fact. It didn't really matter if you got the most votes. You needed Michigan, Wisconsin. You needed those people. And now those are the people who see this. Those are the people who aren't scurrying to the spotlight. They didn't go out to New York. They didn't fly. They didn't move out to L.A. to be a big star on the stage and the screen. Those are the people who take their privacy very seriously. And those are people who want to live in a nation that isn't under constant surveillance. New York City, I understand living here, every single step I take is monitored. I mean, they're just coming out now with immense amounts of facial recognition and eye recognition. And they will be able to spot you from a mile away, and they'll be able to get every single piece of, you can get fingerprints off of people from certain cameras. I mean, you can literally you can grab their fingerprints off of the screen. Now, the privacy is completely out the window, and the last thing we need is Republicans, and especially the Republicans who are in office under the guise of limited government.
Exactly.
And personal privacy to turn their backs on us.
Yeah, you need to feel like you have someone fighting for you, right?
Yeah, and who is it now? I mean, it's really unbelievable. And these are the things that matter to people. And Rand Paul, he just can't hang his hat on being, I'm the only libertarian here, when he continues to do this. And it's not like it wouldn't have passed. It would have been 49.
Yeah, when it was that close, that'd be the
50.
guy that you'd think would stop it, would filibuster it.
Filibuster it. Yeah, he loves to stand on his loafers for hours and hours at a time. That's his whole thing. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I totally understand why this should be a bigger deal. This really should be a bigger deal. And especially, it was interesting. I was detained a couple of years ago by the NYPD because I had an open warrant for my arrest because I was caught drinking on the stoop. I was drinking a beer on the stoop.
How many people did you hurt drinking on the stoop?
Oh, so many people.
Families were destroyed.
I was telling jokes that weren't funny. I mean, everyone was just distraught with me drinking on that stoop. Apparently, that's illegal to do even if you pay rent. In a huge amount of rent. You can't drink on your stoop. That's not your private property. That's public property. Anyway, long story short, I failed to pay the citation. I helped a friend through a turnstile who is dead broke. All of my friends are broke, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm really footing a lot of bills here. But there was a warrant for my arrest. I got down to the Tombs here in New York City. They did the retina scan. They did the whole thing. The full-on borderline DNA swabs. So I'm all in. I'm all registered. I mean, everywhere I go.
Because you drank on a stoop.
Oh, my goodness. And I failed to pay the $20 citation. And next thing you know, for my entire life, unless I get different eyes, which I don't think is going to happen. This isn't the movie Get Out. Mm-hmm. I'm monitored everywhere I go. And it's a really fascinating, kind of a scary thing. All of us, at one point, they will be able to collect all of our data, whether it's done voluntarily, like going into a sporting event. They're already talking about doing retina scans and things like that, just to go to public spaces. Again, you have no constitutional right to go watch the Pittsburgh Steelers play.
Right.
But you do.
Yeah, but at the same time, nobody wants to live in this kind of draconian nightmare.
Right. No, you have all the rights in the world to sit in the corner of your home and never move, and technically you're still a free citizen.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you're on your phone, then they take it. Think about how much your phone knows about you.
Everything.
My phone knows everything. So if you talk about Verizon, they own your text messages. Do they then have the freedom to sell info from those?
I assume they absolutely will.
Because then I am in big trouble.
Yeah, oh my God. Your text messages it'll be a great book. There's the full Kat Timpf story via text.
It is. I treat my my friends as you've been the victim of before.
Yes.
I will treat my friends like my journal. Via my text messages. It'll have nothing to do with you, but I'll be feeling a certain way, and I'll send you about 30 to 40 lines about it.
Right. The great thing about Kat Timpf, when you are friends with her, yes, you get 30 or 40 good, bulky texts.
Paragraphs.
And then you get to read them at your own pace, and then all you have to do is send a text back being like, gotcha. You know? Heard it, got it.
Yeah.
And then that's fine.
Because it's really for me. It's like a journal exercise for me. I don't actually expect you to address them on the line by line.
Yes. No, I learned that the hard way. I was really, it was taking me hours and hours. I felt like a J.D. Salinger writing you back. And then I realized I could just be like, understood, or just send a winky face, and all it is
or you're doing great.
Doing well. Not a problem. All right, this is Fox News Talk. We'll be back here with Kat Timpf after the break. 877-367-2526, 877-367-2526. I'm Ben Kissel. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Fox News Talk, everyone. I'm your host, Ben Kissel. You can find me on Twitter at Ben Kissel. Also call in 877-367-2526, 877-367-2526. I'm in studio with Kat Timpf. Thanks so much for being here the whole hour, Kat.
It's been so much fun.
It's been so much fun. If we just keep on saying it over and over and over again, it'll become true.
It is. I'm going to try to convince you to get food with me after you're done.
Well, I'm trying to lose the weight again. I'm so huge over here. I can't even fit on the planes any longer.
Yeah, well.
Yes, of course, Kat, you can watch her every Saturday at 10 p.m. on the Greg Gutfeld Show on Fox News Channel. And, of course, she's a writer for the National Review. I want to thank Matt Montgomery on Twitter. He tweeted at me a story from The Guardian. The title is Facial Recognition Database Used by FBI is Out of Control. House Committee Hears. Approximately half of adult Americans photographed are stored in facial recognition databases that can be accessed by the FBI without their knowledge or consent in the hunt for suspected criminals. About 80% of the photos in the FBI's network are non-criminal entries, including pictures from driver's licenses and passports. The algorithms used to identify matches are inaccurate about 15% of the time and are more likely to misidentify black people than white people. This is just a phenomenon that is absolutely real, happening in front of us. 1984 has commenced. It is now officially reality. And senators like Rand Paul are doing us a massive disservice by supporting bills that allow internet service providers to take our information, sell it to companies that then can make money off of advertising to us without our consent.
And I hate the argument that if you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't be worried about it. First of all, of course, this doesn't necessarily doesn't really apply to selling it to companies necessarily, but maybe a little. But in general, that if you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't care. None of us, no one in the world is such a good person that there's nothing that you've ever said or done that you wouldn't want the whole world to know about.
Absolutely. And this goes down to, big data breaches with hacks and things like that. As we were talking about, regarding Katherine Timpf and her texting methods.
It's bad.
Can you imagine if these things are released and whatnot, and myself included? I mean, it can really, it can totally disorient a life. It can turn everything upside down, and it does on a regular basis. And I think these things have to be taken much more seriously than they are. Information is power, and the more information the government gets, the more power it gets. And there is absolutely nothing libertarian.
Power that they are supposed to not have.
A power
it's a Bill of Rights. Okay, if you don't like it, don't talk to me. Talk to Bill.
Absolutely. Bill has a lot to say about this.
Yes.
And I think we need to start getting back to the Bill of Rights a little bit. It does seem as if we've completely abandoned it, and it's absolutely not right. Obviously, Donald Trump, the House still has to vote on this. Donald Trump does have veto power, and this could be a big win for individuals who might be more libertarian-leaning who voted for Donald Trump, although I don't think there's anything libertarian about the Trump presidency.
No, I don't understand that. People are libertarians for Trump. I don't understand that one at all.
It doesn't seem to make any sense. I mean,
maybe breaking up the two-party system, but his views are certainly not libertarian.
No, absolutely not libertarian whatsoever. And there is as soon as he took office, he just sat down and with a stroke of a pen passed massive amounts of legislation or repealed massive amounts of legislation. And obviously, as we saw with what happened with the Health Care Act, has zero idea of what governance is supposed to look like. There's a reason we have checks and balances. We have a Congress, or as Donald Trump and his administration called it, archaic rules.
Yeah.
When it comes to the healthcare, it is Congress. There is nothing. That is the institution of government that has happened that we've decided to put in place for 240 years.
Yeah.
I will never think of the Senate and the House as archaic or institutions of archaic rule. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me. So that's what we're doing right now. We're living in a country that is constantly under surveillance, and we have the people in those flyover states that are absolutely fed up. They don't know what to do, and they don't know who to turn to. And these are the people, again, that didn't go and, we're speaking to each other over a national radio program. Obviously, we're a little bit more outgoing.
Right.
We like our privacy, but we're a little bit more willing to expose ourselves and peel back the onion, so to speak, and let people know who we really are. But we're unique. Most people don't want that.
Yeah, right. Well, and also, people in government are supposed to represent the people. There aren't people who want this. There aren't constituents out there who are going to say, you know what, I think it'd actually be pretty dope if you just sold all my personal info to Verizon. That's not a constituency that exists.
Absolutely not. The Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects. I mean, granted, I would argue papers, that might as well be a text.
It is.
That might as well be a Google search.
It's the same.
It's the same thing. And effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause. I mean, what is the probable cause to share our information that we give to these small internet service providers? There absolutely is none, supported by an oath or an affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. In my opinion, what we live in now, the internet, the cyber world, is tangible to me. That is, might as well be, as we saw, there's a case, I believe it was in Sweden, one of those Nordic countries, or, you know, someplace over there, where a person was stealing furniture out of a Second Life hotel or whatever. I think it's called Second Life or whatever, one of those things. And they got charged in criminal court, in real court, because that's a real product to those people. That's my personal opinion on it.
It's the same.
It's the same thing nowadays.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Kat Timpf, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
You're the best. All right, this is Fox News Talk. I am Ben Kissel. We'll be right back.